we grew up hearing certain songs on the radio, and we just never really thought that much about them as far as the lyrics go. Or if we ever thought about the lyrics, we just thought about them on a very superficial level and didn't really probe that deeply into the lyrics. And don't get me wrong, plenty of pop songs there's nothing to probe into. There's nothing much. There's no there exactly. It's a largely illiterate business, pop music. Not entirely though, but largely. But I've been thinking recently about a song that was huge for a time. I think it was in 1986 or so. That's what my memory is telling me. That was around the time that this song was out. I remember it was a big hit. I think it was a #1 hit. Considered a very romantic song. Very ballady. But also kind of synthy, and dreamy sounding. Yet for all that, wasn't really that great of a song. I'm making it sound better than it actually was. maybe there was a better version of it that could have been made if it had been recorded differently. But the recording is I'm afraid, rather bland. It didn't stop it from becoming enormously successsul. The song I'm referring to is by Mr. And it's called Broken Wings. And if this were, a professionally made video, I would cut to a 10-second clip of the chorus, and then you'd come back to me after that. But since this isn't that, and this will never be that, and I don't want to be that, we'll just go on from my brief interruption there to my own thoughts. The song, as I said, it's about some kind of strained romantic relationship, some kind of situation within a romance where things have gone sour or have gone south, or both. I guess they mean about the same thing. Hey, I think Southerners should have a thing to say about that. I think we should be offended, that going south means going in a bad way. We all know that it's quite the opposite. As I sit here in the cradle of the South again, here in downtown Savannah, just a little look around at the famous. Here's one of the famous squares of downtown Savannah. Great town. So things aren't going so well in this relationship, and I find what's not shocking but just interesting, with this new discovery of in the last 7 years, this kind of discovery of simpishness, and pointing out of simpishness and pointing out of men behaving in a simpish way, simp behavior, simp mentality. We really didn't have that. That really wasn't talked about. There was no name for it before 2015 or so. Maybe people said simp prior to 2015. I wasn't aware of it. I'm just speaking from my own knowledge base, from my own perspective of things, culturally speaking, my own cultural awareness, which has its gaps, admittedly. But I would say until recently, this whole idea of a man behaving in a way that was unbecoming, unmanly, that was in essence a forfeiture of his masculinity, just in an effort to get the girl, to win over the girl, to please the girl, to give the girl what she wants, to show that he's he's the guy for the girl. There really wasn't that really wasn't thought of as ignoble. It wasn't. I mean, it was always recognized, I think, on some level, that if somebody's just some guy is just too desperate and he's just gonna sell out his friends and just do whatever just to always be in the good graces of his woman. I mean, we had the term pussy whipped. There was that term, and so I'm not saying that there weren't similar sorts of definitions to simp, but I think the term simp, and I'm very pro simp shaming, as I've expressed before, and that isn't to say that I'm number one simp crusher, simp hater. I've got a lot of simpish tendencies in myself as well, that I have to be on the lookout for, and we all do, because it's part of how we were programmed, frankly. And in a better culture, in a society that cared about us, that cared about men, that cared about masculinity, that accorded respect to masculinity, simping wouldn't really be as dangerous or as ignoble, or as, what's the word I'm looking for? It just wouldn't be so. It wouldn't be so rage-inducing to see men just do the typical man thing, and the all too typical man thing, and just bend over backwards to do whatever they can to please their woman, or to convince a woman that she should be with him, and be willing to do backflips or whatever to get it all, to make it happen, and so forth. Well, Broken Wings is a very simpy song. There aren't that many details to this romantic situation that's gone sour, but we get some clues that things have gone wrong, and that this man, the singer, the speaker, the crooner of the song, he wants to make it right. He wants to see to it that whatever has brought this relationship into peril, that this gets resolved, and that they can go on being the lovers that he always envisioned them being, and it's all from his point of view. We should, and so it become. I'm going to look at the lyrics here presently, but if you read it a certain way, it becomes pretty clear that the guy is kind of in denial, or seems to be in denial, and yet the song is not received that way, talked about that way. It's not quite as striking as the example of "Keep on Loving You" by REO Speedwagon, in which the guy, his woman has cheated on him over and over and over and over again, but he's going to keep on loving her because he doesn't know what else to do, even though the manly thing to do in that kind of circumstance would be to extricate himself from this relationship in which the woman who's supposed to be true to him is just doing him dirty over and over and over again. But he's not gonna budge. He's gonna stay right where he is and keep on loving her. I've talked about that song. I've written about that song. This isn't quite as striking an example of that, but still similar in some way. So the first verse goes, "Baby, can't understand why we can't just belong to each other's hands," or to each other's hand, I think. Why can't we just be walking hand in hand together? What's keeping us from being hand in hand? And I don't understand it. Why can't it just be like that, like it used to be? And then he goes on to say, "This time may be the last I fear," which is kind of interesting, strange. "This time might be the last I fear, unless I make it all too clear, I need you so." So that concludes the first verse. I need you, like he's saying, he's professing how much he needs her, how ardently he desires for their hands to be joined together again in harmony. The second verse, before getting to the chorus, the second verse is, baby, all I know is that you're half of the flesh and blood that makes me go. I need you so. So more again about how badly he needs her, how badly he wants things to be resolved between them. Whatever has brought them apart, he wants it to be put together, back together again. And what he keeps protesting, what he keeps talking about, is his need, his desire for the relationship to work. We don't hear it all from her. And one gets the impression, and many of us have known these kinds of relationships in our own lives, where we've suddenly become aware, you know what, this other person, whether it's a romantic thing or a friendship or whatever, where you become aware, wait a minute, it's always me. I am always the one trying to get us together and keep things going. If I just let go and stopped calling or texting or proposing that we do things together, this other person would probably just never contact me again, and the relationship would just die out of its own accord. It's only me desperately, trying to keep this going, that's keeping it going. But one person, it takes two. If you really want to keep a relationship afloat, you have to have both parties invested. When only one of the two are invested and the other one isn't, it's already dead. It's already gone. And that seems to be the case in the song. She doesn't want to, for whatever reason, she doesn't want to be she doesn't want to be hand in hand with him. He says you're half of the flesh and blood that makes me go. So for him, she's like his other half, his better half, as the simpish saying goes. But to her, the impression we get, it's all from him. I need you so. This time may be the last I fear, unless I make it all too clear. It's pretty clear right now, I would say, guy, singer, crooner of this 80s iconic 80s song. It's pretty clear already, Mr. That you want and need her. But what's less clear is that she wants that she's interested or invested at all in any way. So then the chorus, take these broken wings and learn to fly again, learn to live so free. When we hear the voices sing, the book of love will open up for us and let us in. So what are the broken wings? What are the broken wings would seem to be, just on the fly, my best interpretation that is of what he's referring to there is, they talk about an entity sometimes having, or a relationship or whatever. They're, you're one and the same. you move as one. One of you is one wing, one of you is the other wing, right? And you need two wings to fly, right? But the wings are broken. What broke them? Maybe, from what I can gather, her indifference. From what I can gather, her falling out of love with him, her no longer wanting to be with him. Now, am I maybe reading my own experiences into the song? maybe, but it fits. And others of us have had the same kind of experience. Again, it doesn't have to be romantic, although the song is obviously supposed to be a romantic song. but it can just be any human relationship, any relationship with another person, where the other person has just, is just done. He or she is over it, right? And that's a pretty harsh thing to have to deal with if you're not over it, if you're still invested, if you want to still keep this thing going. And so he somehow thinks that his ardent poetic words are going to salvage the situation, and that she will be moved by his words to take these broken wings and learn to fly again. It doesn't work perfectly as a metaphor, but and when we hear the voices sing, the book of love will open up and let us in. Reference to the Book of Love, famous pop song from the 50s or 60s or whatever. Who wrote the Book of Love? So when we hear the voices sing, that means that's like some kind of invocation of heavenly, like a moment of entering into paradise, and this is saying, you just have to take these broken wings and fix them. It's in your hands. I love you. I want to be with you. You're half of me, as far as I'm concerned. Half of my blood is your blood. Half of my flesh is your flesh. So take these broken wings and fix whatever has gone wrong, which lies on your side. He's saying that. He's saying that to her because it's in her hands. But he doesn't seem to be aware that she's indifferent. What you gather reading between the lines is that she is indifferent to his pleas. So this song that was so sighed over and so swooned over by so many a woman, it's really about a man pleading desperately with a woman who is just done with him. And maybe it was because he did something wrong, but that doesn't necessarily. I don't get that impression. There's no if that were the case, there would be some kind of sorrow, right? There would be some kind of I know I screwed up. Can you please take me back, kind of deal. There's nothing like that. As simpish as he is, there doesn't seem to be any awareness of an infidelity or similar kind of situation. It's just that she's gone cold. Her heart's grown cold to him, and the wings that once held their relationship together have now broken, and those wings are going to stay broken. It would seem like. I would imagine. I would gather. So those are my thoughts on the song. Let me know what you think. I would hazard a guess to say I'm the first one, probably, on the internet who has actually talked about the meaning of this song. Maybe I'm not, but I'm guessing that I am. So I will accept your accolades for that honor. Even though, as I said, it's just sort of a song, but interesting as far as what the lyrics point towards, the kind of relationship that is being indicated in those lyrics. So I'll link the song below if you haven't heard it or need to be reminded about it. And then let me know what you think. Thanks for watching.